The focus child for the purpose of this presentation is a primary age student in Year 3. She has recently relocated to Australia as a refugee. She is originally from Iraq and speaks fluent Arabic, however has little to no English. She has completed some form of formal schooling as part of the refugee program and camps she has been through on her journey to Australia. Therefore, the student displays great levels of cultural and linguistic diversity as she attends a school in a low socioeconomic area in southwestern Sydney. Australia, a multicultural society, has been welcoming to all cultures since the introduction of multiculturalism in the 1970s by the Whitlam government. However, the process to which we accept all cultures in our social norms have changed over the years. When it comes to education, providing an adequate education for all of utmost importance, yet how do we make it equitable? According to Hyde et al., there are 3 distinctions to how we include diversity in our education system. Mainstreaming places the child within the setting of the mainstream school after receiving specialised support schooling beforehand. Integration implies that the student be integrated into certain aspects of mainstream school where they may fit in comfortably. While inclusion, a process of removing barriers to make education accessible for all. This final term of where we are now, however, it has not always been this way. Adopting a process of inclusion will greatly help to minimise the effects of trauma on students from refugee backgrounds. Over time, we have seen extreme examples of deculturalisation, particularly within Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Thankfully, this term is now part of our history, and students who enter our educational setting are not forced to adopt a new culture, but rather celebrate their own. Today's society is seen as accepting. However, there are still many occasions where cultures may be unintentionally excluded. Through cultural values, levels of independence, status, personal involvement, and relationships. Devarakonda discusses how education settings can adopt the 5 dimensions of multicultural education to overcome these issues through content integration, knowledge construction, prejudice reduction, equity pedagogy, and empowering schools culture. According to Cole 2018, white is seen as a normal and people who are white are more socially accepted. However, once marked by their language difference, issues of exclusion or segregation arise. Educators' ability to manage a multilinguistic classroom certainly impacts their view of diversity. If a teacher is unable to cater for the needs of a second language learner, they are more likely to display unintentionally excluding habits. However, more than 50 years of students have proven that being multilingual is of great advantage to individuals, both students and adults in society. Therefore, celebrating the encouraging multilingualism should be of most importance. This very definition of literacy can highlight the gap between culturally and linguistically diverse students. The gap with these particular students is highlighted through their inability to understand the written forms of language that are required by the society they are in due to the lack of previous exposure. As to, initial readers cannot construct meaning from a text without background knowledge of the context in which the text would be placed. Students will always continue to read for enjoyment and learn from reading, but it is the educator's responsibility to expose the students to learning experiences that promote language and background knowledge of a wide range of context area based on the society in which they are situated. Belonging acknowledges children's independence with others and the basis of relationship in defining identities. When a student is culturally diverse, they have been removed from that sense of belonging to a culture. Therefore, it is crucial to build on the student's culture to make others culturally aware. Therefore, they are unable to be independent, and these skills need to be developed in the students. As it states in the quote, independence is built on the basis of relationships. relationships with teachers, friends, families, and the wider community, and assist to create a sense of belonging for the individual. It is about the present and them knowing themselves, building and maintaining relationships with others, engaging with life's joys and complexities, and meeting challenges in everyday life. As mentioned previously, the issues faced with diversity in the past is far greater than today. Therefore, it is a chance to reflect on what happened and allow children to be themselves in a society that is far more accepting. As educators, we have a significant role to play in shaping children's identity, as mentioned by Robinson and Diaz. A teacher's attitude towards language and culture directly affects the child's identity. Therefore, creating strong relationships with not only the student but the family of the student is crucial to allowing the child to be themselves within their own culture as well as society. They are shaped by many different events and circumstances. Becoming reflects this process of rapid and significant change that occurs in the early years. Involving students in the unique learning experiences and involving them in the creation of these experiences is key to allowing students to become part of themselves and their culture. When they are to actively participate, students and families are more engaged and welcome. Schools create this through opening up and celebrating diversity through culture, language, and race. According to Foreman and Arthur Kelly, and as stated in the Australian curriculum, inclusion requires the provision of adaptations and accommodations to the classroom curriculum to that the student benefits from participation in the placement rather than just experiencing it. It is this notion of participation that is utmost importance. The early years learning framework places great emphasis on participation through the implementation of play-based learning. Children learning experimenting and participating in social interactions that require problem solving and critical thinking. Play is a context that allows expression, curiosity, develops relationships, and creates a sense of well-being. This holistic nature of the early years learning framework supports the Australian Disability Standards for Education, in that it specifically addresses participation and curriculum development. With these concepts in mind, we are able to deliver a curriculum that is inclusive for all and meets the needs of individuals. By understanding a child's background and developing a strong relationship with them, you are able to provide unique, rich learning experiences that develop their sense of belonging, being, and becoming. To assist my focused child, focusing on creating a sense of belonging through reading and participating in the book I'm Australian Too by Mem Fox. This is a great story to show that no matter where we come from, we all share this great land and celebrate our individual cultures. However, to ensure students are participating in this experience, they should share with each through a think pair activity where they are from and share a unique story of themselves. It isn't just inside the classroom where a school can have an impact on being inclusive of culture and language to support closing the gap. As mentioned by Devakonda and Foreman and Arthur Kelly, 2014, the support from the family that is provided through a child's education has profound effects on their learning outcomes. Therefore, a school, as a community partner, should make every effort to include and celebrate all cultures. This could be through cultural celebration days, parent groups to welcome new families, or cultural story sharing in the classroom, where a parent comes into the classroom to share stories and language from their culture. Schools are community hubs and should take the responsibility of creating a diverse learning experience for all. Diversity can be celebrated in a number of ways. The arts have evolved in each society as a means of consolidating cultural and social identity and connecting past with future generations. Art is a form that strengthens social identity and keeps culture alive. Therefore, celebrating culture through art, be it dance, music, drama, or visual arts, is a great way to include and celebrate. As an educator, allowing students to create artworks, dances, plays, or music performances based on their culture is essential to creating a sense of belonging in your classroom. As mentioned previously, creating unique learning experiences that are rich in vocabulary and language is essential to developing background knowledge to further a child's understanding. When developing basic vocabulary and English language, exposing students to and participating them in activities such as gardening, creating, or, if you are lucky enough, work on the farm. A school that I was situated in had a school farm with multiple animals, and the exposures to these animals not only built up culturally and linguistically diverse students' vocabulary and language, but also their confidence. Working with other children, developing strong relationships through doing, allowing them to be placed in social interactions where they could participate and become a learner in an unfamiliar and unique setting. Diverse children are placed within a unique environment when attending school. They faced many obstacles other children may not, and how they are made to deal with these obstacles can significantly impact their experience. A school and its educators are responsible for ensuring students feel a sense of belonging, are being themselves, and are becoming who and what they want to be.